this time. Hey everybody, welcome to GMG Review. I am here today with Mike, and you are my WARCRY buddy. We've been playing WARCRY since it came out.
Yeah, I was going to say since WARCRY.
Since WARCRY, since there was a WARCRY. So you were the logical person to do this GMG review with me. For those of you who haven't been following along with my reviews, I am changing up formats, doing new formats, doing different formats. And one of the things that I like doing now, or I'm trying out doing, is reviewing products with a guest, because me just like sitting, it's so not great sitting by yourself talking about something when you could have a person to bounce all your ideas off of.
But man reads book.
But man will still read book, but also man will look at, like, for box games like this, having someone to like actually react with me and like go through it, and like when I make make it clearly like I screw something up, like point it out and be like, no, I don't think that's how that works. So what we have here is WARCRY Hunter and Hunted, which is the new 2-player battle box in a brand new 12x8 format from Games Workshop for Warhammer Age of Sigmar WARCRY. And this was kindly sent as a complimentary advanced review copy and contains 2 warbands. We have the Gorger Mawpack, which is plastic Gorgers for the first time ever, in a unit for the Ogre Kingdoms army, which is great because I love my Ogre Kingdoms. Ogor Mawtribes. You know. Yeah. Whatever the kids call them these days. And then these guys, the Wildercor Hunters, for the, I think this is probably the most anticipated unit in the new Cities of Sigmar box.
They're so damn cool.
They're really cool.
I just want to play more time with them.
Yeah, they're just a warband. Like they're clearly a witch hunter warband, which I think is amazing. And then you get this, which is kind of a Zarlak, a maw pit, and it can be used as a maw pit or a maw pot in your Ogre Kingdoms or Mawtribe army if you want as well, which I think is super cool. So we're going to crack this open and check out the models inside, go through the new, because it does come with pretty much everything that the old ones came with, except for there's no board, and it's just one new terrain piece. How do you feel about that? Like, as far as like format? Because so far we've had basically a 2-player start at the start of each season. Yeah. And then a million more kind of 2-player start sets that didn't come with dice or tokens or a rule book.
Which felt like, yeah. Well, so like you're saying, like I've been playing WARCRY since there was a WARCRY, and I love it, and I haven't bought anything for it in a year.
Did you just wait for the warbands that you wanted to have come out?
So I got the warbands.
I split a bunch of boxes.
Yeah, you shot me a couple of them, and I really focus on the chaos ones anyway. Yeah. So some of it wasn't as exciting, and they're just too big. It's too much. I don't need 4 sets of that specific scenery. Although now I'm thinking it might actually work pretty well for Shatterpoint with all the elevation.
Oh, the elevation, stuff like that. All the living trees. Like you need that many bamboo monster trees.
Yeah, no.
It is a lot. Like, yeah. Especially because all the battle plans were tied to, you had to paint this whole new, like the terrain cards where you had to paint this whole new thing. We ended up just not doing it. Yeah. Like we ended up just using the first box's terrain kit for the train cards, and then just adding in the twists and the deployments and stuff like that, because you didn't, like, that's the nice thing about WARCRY. You can just mix and match those. You don't have to use them if you don't want to.
Which awkwardly means I don't actually own a deck of the cards for the twists and everything from this edition.
Oh, wow.
I play WARCRY with the same people every week. We don't own those cards.
That's right.
We're just using the charts in the book, because none of us wanted to buy the massive starter set that we were interested in less than a third of the content of.
Yeah. And I mean, that's I think this format will be good for them going forward if they stick with it, where if you just add a piece of terrain, like let's say, wish list, they do a Cities of Sigmar one where it's Mordheim-esque, sort of like ruins and city buildings, and every box that adds new warbands, you get a new building. Yeah, I'm 100, like, sign me up. Yes. I'm just to pump that directly into my soul. I would one, it's more, I think, to coin a phrase, more keep upable, like you said, like where you couldn't keep up with these big box sets, and 2, I think it's more probably practical for them to have these smaller boxes and not be doing like a full-size game box every single time. Yeah. It just seems like a better way to add 2 new warbands to a box with a theme, right? Instead. So let's have a look inside. You do get a new way to play because you do get a warband book. It's the exact same style of book as the previous ones. And it adds your warband rules for the warbands inside. So you get your maw pot. I feel like we would just throw Boba Fett in here immediately. It does have some serious Tatooine vibes, I would say.
Yeah, bubble seats going in.
Yeah, as far as like it has a giant skull stuck to it because it is Games Workshop. You can't have without having a giant skull. It's not on IP and on brand.
So few pieces.
I'm excited about that.
It.
Yeah, you know what's funny with terrain? I love building terrain and painting terrain. I don't want to spend a lot of time doing it though because it's not. It would be like buying nice new plates for your dining room table. The meal's the thing that goes on the plates. You know what I mean? Like the miniatures are what you want to put on there. The terrain to me is not as exciting. Then we've got these Wildercor Hunters. Man, this stuff is so cool. What a great frame. What do you think?
Oh my god. There's dogs. Love the dogs.
Gotta have dags.
Gotta have the dags. You like dags?
I do think that so with the steel helms, you had like multiple building options. And you were able to kind of like mix and match and kit bash. Let's pull the instructions out of here and have a look at them, just to look at like how many ways you can build these. Because I'll be honest, modularity for these I think is pretty important for me. There's at least 3 ways to build the leader. He can have an axe, he can have a crossbow, or he can just be pointing with a bare head, which I think is cool. You've also got
the numbers on the pieces are closely grouped together, so I don't think you're going to be looking for a left arm on one corner and a right arm on the other.
It's fairly sequential, which is great. That is my favorite thing about the WARCRY warbands, where it's just like I grab 1 through 8, I grab 9 through 11. I don't have to worry about that. There is 2 ways to build Crouching Dude, so he can be built with a crossbow or a sword. And then same with all the other. So it does look like there's multi-build options like spear, crossbow. There's a bunch of different build options for most of these models, unless they're like a super specialist, like the dude with the big swivel gun. Like he's only building 1 way. So that's cool. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about multiple build options. And then we've got Team Gorger, who are looking pretty hefty. How many backs do I see? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's looking like it's 4. They're keeping with 4s. The rule of 4 for Mawtribes, which is that you can have 4-man units because it's 4 in the Lead Belcher and the Iron Guts, I think. And then weirdly, it's 6 for the Gluttons.
Yeah.
So this looks like a rule of 4 unit, which I'm fine with that. And then what else we got in here? We've got our no poster this time. Just a plain old sleeve. I'll give you that.
Keep those posters and then don't do anything with them.
I put a bunch of them up on the wall for the kids. And we got our cards. All right, so we've got our cards for the Wildercor. I'll give you those because I know you're the most excited about them. And I'll pull out the Team Gorger.
Universal reactions.
Cool.
Actions.
Okay, so instead of just having the Warband card, you've also got a card for the universals, which I think is very handy because I look these up very often to make sure the wording's right. So you've got counter, take cover, and strike them down for the reactions. And then you've got rush, onslaught, respite, inspiring presence, and rampage. So all your universals are sitting in front of you too. I would love for there to be 2 of that one, but that's okay. Mostly because I would just give you 1 now. We've got our cards for the ogres. You've got the cards for the Wildercor. We've got deployment cards. So it does come with a unique battle plan set. So deployment cards. And then we've got twists. Because of course we do. And bases. I'm just going to get this stuff out of the way.
You even have leader options in here.
Leader options for Boba Fett. Twists. Victories. So full battle plan set. Victories. And then, oh man. Okay, I don't recognize this board or this terrain. Is that... I don't recognize that board either. I think it's from the ice realm that they're going to in Underworlds. And then this other side's all skulls. Do you guys recognize this? Because this looks very different.
That looks very different.
From what I recognize at all.
Does the board match the new starter set?
No.
No, because I was like...
the new starter set actually matches the original starter set.
Right.
It's in like and it's a paper mat too, right? It's not a cardstock mat. So it's like the kind of like chaos wasty skulls in the ground, whatever. So I wonder what that's going to mean. That's interesting. Maybe we're going to the Ghurish Highlands or something else. This is an interesting box set. All right, let's look in the book. And while you go over the Wildercor Hunters while I look in the book and see what's up with these battle plans.
All right, so the Wildercor Hunters you can get. There's a ton of different builds on this card as far as war gear and stuff goes. Looks like you get 3 doggos, a trailblazer, who can be built with a sword or a dueling saber or twin crossbows. You get 2 options for the leader with a axe or a crossbow. Wildercor Hunter Warden. Oh, 3.
3, nice. Yeah, because there was 3 build options.
Yeah,
there's 3 build options.
Yeah, there's 3 there. With a grizzled trailhound. So I guess the one who's pointing has a better dog instead.
Because it's grizzled. Everything's a grizzled hound.
Have you ever played the Grizzled? It's a great board game.
I have not played the grizzled, but I am now interested in knowing more about it. I will subscribe to your newsletter.
There we go. Wildcore Leatherhide with hunting crossbow. Looks like there's no options for that guy. You get a Trailblazer, who can either have a saber or twin crossbows. Get your Arbalester, who has no options. And then a second Leatherhide, so that must be the mediums. And that one's got a spear. And then scouts with hunting crossbows, and a scout with paired hatchets, which might be a multi-build there. And your doggos, which are the most important thing. So let's skip to the dogs on their stat cards.
Because that's what you care about the most.
Because that's what I care about the most.
That's fair, yeah. I'm looking at them too. So you go through them, I'll tell you what I think as well.
All right. So 60 points is fantastic. Only 6 health and toughness 3, so they're going to go down real fast.
And the beast rune mark, right? It's the key objectives.
Yeah. They're speed bumps. 2 attack, strength 3. I love to see base 2 damage, though.
Base 2 damage is a big deal. 2-3 damage, because your spikes don't super matter then. You're just looking for hits at that point. And strength 3 is fine. Like 1 inch range, 2 attack, strength 3. That's for 60 points. That's a pretty good deal.
I'm surprised they're only movement 6.
I am a bit surprised too, but let's wait until we see the faction rules, because there might be something in there that's going to give them a lot of free moves.
All right, let's jump to the faction rules and provide some context now that we've already looked at the dogs.
Yeah, because Mike didn't want to not look at the dogs first, which is fine. I understand your excitement. So your reaction is smart step backwards. A fighter can make this reaction after they've been allocated damage points by a melee attack action. This fighter makes a bonus disengage action. So as a react, you can just take a step away and not be in melee anymore. That's huge if you start melee with somebody and they just back off.
Yeah. Or just out of activation. To just back off with your treasure token.
You can't get alpha'd, right? So like, let's say someone runs to you on turn 1 and they're getting ready to double attack you on turn 2. You get attacked once instead, and then you step back.
Yeah.
You're not in melee anymore.
Yeah, and it's an action for an action, so economy-wise,
that's right.
Fine.
But it stops the attack sequence on the second attack and makes it
exactly.
into either another move or something like that.
You've messed up there.
There's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models here with ranged attacks. Yeah. So 5 models of ranged attacks means you're stepping back maybe to open up something to get shot.
Yeah.
Right? Then you get double death grip. After this fighter's next melee attack, and it requires the puppy rune mark?
Yeah, the beasts.
Oh, they've all got, yes, the beast rune mark.
The dogs, yeah.
So after this fighter's next melee attack action, this activation, if at least 1 hit roll from the attack was a hit, the target forfeits one of their actions in this battle round. So you just take away an action for a double. If the target has already activated, or if they have no more actions to forfeit, they take 3 damage instead. So you attack something that's already activated, and you get 1 hit, you do bonus 3 damage. That's plus 3 damage. Or you lose an action. That's a great reason to take Trailhounds.
Yeah, it's two attacks at strength 3.
Yep.
So it's a little dicey.
Sure.
You're often hoping for a 5 on
you're spiking
one
for
of 2
5.
dice.
Yeah, you're looking for a 5 on 2 dice. But you could potentially make them lose an action, or just take a bunch of extra damage. Yeah. That's huge.
That's good. I like that.
All right, so the other double is Hunting Pack. Pick a visible friendly fighter with the Wildercor Hunters faction mark within 2 of this fighter. That fighter makes a bonus attack action that must target enemy fighters within 2 of this fighter. So you can chain attack basically on a double with the dog and somebody else. Or just really anybody, because it's anybody that has that rune mark and the... it's the scouts with paired hatchets.
It's literally anything that isn't a dog.
It's not a dog. Yeah. So you send the dog in first, you send the guy in first, and the dog can fight as a free attack action for a double. Because they would just require the Hunter's rune mark, or another guy can too. It could be anybody. Anybody can make the bonus. It's just you trigger it off of all the Wildcor guys.
Yeah.
Then you've got double Hunter's Eye. Until the end of this fighter's activation, add 1 of the damage points allocated to enemy fighters for each hit and critical hit from attack actions made by this fighter. So you can just double to add 1 to all your damages. So you go to base 2. Like most attacks on the regular Wildcor guys are going to go to 2-4. You're going to go to 3-4 and 3-5 for your leaders, which is big. And the dogs go to 3-4.
Is that? No, that's not the... Man, I still hate how much the rune marks all look the same.
Yes, so that's a leader action, that one, the Double Hunter's Eye. To be able to your wardens, and that's it.
No, I think that's the... This is why I say... I think that's the leather, or the mediums. Mark, isn't it?
No, because it's 6 spikes. I'm just counting spikes.
Oh yeah.
Right. So 6 spikes is the bitted axe, double bitted axe, and the hunting crossbow guy have that rune mark, and that's it. So the grizzled trailhound does not have that rune mark.
Grizzled trailhound doesn't. Okay.
Yeah. So only the other 2 wardens have that rune mark. Yeah. He's also the cheapest of the wardens for some reason. And then triple, this is available to the people with the twin crossbows, I think, and that's it. It's Trailblazer's Might, because this is for the Trailblazers, and the Dueling Saber. Until the end of this fighter's activation, attack actions made by this fight score a crit on a 5+. And this guy's got 3s and 4s for all of his critical damage, which means 5-up crits.
I like that.
That's a big one for the Dueling Saber guy, and I think you get 2 of them in the box. Also, one of them's a gun. So, yeah, just attack actions, meaning you 5+ crit with a 3 crit gun. And then you get triple is kill. Pick a visible enemy fighter. Allocate number of damage points to that enemy fighter equal to 3 times the number of friendly fighters with the Hunter and Beast rune mark within 3 of them. So if you've got 4 of your dogs within 3 inches of the target, you do 12 damage to it. Just do 12 damage.
Just 12. And it's not tied to the value of the ability at all.
Not at all.
That's
and
fantastic.
It's a triple. So you just run all your dogs over and spend a triple, and then they die if you're visible. So, like, there's no range either for the guy activating it, because the guy activating it is going to be... Oh, and funnily enough, I think... No, you don't have the Beast rune mark on the Grizzled Trailhound guy. But he can trigger it, and that's it. So that's a reason to take him, because only he can perform that action.
Yeah.
So Grizzled Trailhound guy is the guy who can just have your 4 dogs do 12 damage if you want. And then finally, you've got Quad Regroup. This is available to, it looks like, the Hunting Crossbow and Bitted Axe Warden. So interestingly, 4 of these are really chaining off those Wardens. So taking the Warden with the Grizzled Trailhound is the only way you get access to that kill order. Yeah. So Quad Regroup, each visible friendly fighter with a Wildcor Hunters faction mark within 6 of this fighter can make a bonus move action or a bonus disengage action. Some can make a bonus move action, while some can make a bonus disengage action. So Quad basically can pull everybody around or move them. It would be a good first turn Quad. Everybody gets a bonus move if you could somehow get the Quad in that first turn, but you have to get lucky to do it.
It could be, yeah, because Quad, you always have to compare it to Rampage, where you get bonus move, bonus attack.
Yeah.
This is, 2 bonus attacks is potentially better.
Sure.
Even, if that's all you're getting out of it, right?
But if it's your entire team gets to make a free move.
Oh, yeah. No, that's amazing. so off the hop, it can be amazing, but like even later game, for a Quad, getting 2 attacks is good.
Huge. Yeah, it's
fine,
huge. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the attacks aren't as scary as they are in a lot of warbands.
No, this is true. So let's talk about that. So let's see how you go through the first the wardens. There's 3 warden options.
Yeah. So
and obviously, we've already said that 2 of them have access to Hunter's Eye, which is +1 damage to their attacks, and then 1 of them has access to Kill, which is the triple where you may unleash the hounds, basically, and do a bunch of damage.
Yeah. So let's start with him at 115 points. So we're only move 4. Only toughness 3 is everybody. Literally, the whole warband is toughness 3.
Yep.
All right, that's easy. Hey, the hunters, the skinks wouldn't mind so much these guys.
I know, right? The Hunters of Wanshi, the world's worst warband.
They're just terrible.
Don't make me relive it. I hate them. They're the worst. It's so bad.
They were not good.
They were not great.
20 health is pretty average for a leader, especially at 115 points. I like that low cost. That's what I liked about the Jade Obelisk too.
Yeah.
Their leader was not.
It wasn't necessarily a frontline leader, which
Yeah.
is pretty common in Warcry with the Chaos Warbands. Like your best fighter is also your leader. In this case, it's not.
Yeah. So with your options, and there's 3 heads. I like that. So you've got either a dog attacking 4 attacks at strength 3, 2, 3, compared to an axe attacking, which is 3 attacks, strength 4, 2, 4, and has access to the extra damage. So that gets a little scary when you're looking at.
Yeah, he can go to 3/5.
3/5. But only 3 attacks. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
You have
not
fighter,
terrifying.
shooter, and dogman.
Yeah, and then the shooter is going to weaken his attack.
Axe. Yeah. His crit damage goes down by 1. He loses an attack and a strength.
Yeah. So
He's fighting with the hound, actually. That's why.
Well, he's half as many attacks as the dog
Yeah.
guy. Because his dog is less grizzled.
That's right. Yeah. He's got a pup. He's got a baby doggy.
Just a baby. But he then gets his ranged attack. 15 inches is good. 2 attacks at strength 3, 1, 3.
That's right. Yeah. So his like you're kind of taking 3 flavors, and it's what access to the abilities do they have, and then on top of that, what are their core fighting stats? So you've got like Super Puncher up top there. Then you've got his Shoot Your Friend with half as many dog attacks in melee, but a pretty decent, like 15 inches is a long way in Warcry. That's a very far shooting gun. And then really the last guy, I think you're just taking him for that, to play that wild, like to play that quad or the triple, sorry.
Yeah, to play that triple.
And then you're kind of like, he's a sit back and maybe hold an objective or, whatever, maybe do the fallback quad at some point. Cause it's just leader, I think, tagged for him.
Yeah. So Hunter's Eye is the double for the leader here, and it's to each attack from attack actions. So you could actually
the crossbow
pop that and double tap on it.
Yep.
Which makes it a lot more attractive.
Well, no, because you can't use 2 abilities at once.
No, but you can.
Oh, you can shoot twice.
You can shoot twice.
Yeah, you use it at the start of his activation and then make 2 attacks with it. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like Onslaught where it's for the next attack and the next attack only. It's for all the attacks.
Yeah, that makes a difference to how useful it is.
I mean, that crossbow shooting 15 inches with what's the base damage now? It's 2/4.
Yeah, it goes up to 2/4.
That's huge.
Yeah, still only 2 attacks at strength 3, but still, all
fish for crits.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, again, anytime that your base damage gets to 2, you're laughing.
Yeah.
All right, so I like the
Trailblazers,
and they're all within 5 points of each other, like 115 or to 100.
They're fairly interchangeable. Yeah. I think they really do overcost shooting in this game. They make him pay an extra 5 for the crossbow. I would just have them all be the same price. I don't think they need to be 5 points different for that crossbow.
Yeah.
I understand the versatility, but like he's giving up all of his melee attacks basically for it. And they still, I think, only do a combined 4 attacks across both. Like if you're getting 4 dog attacks with the one who's only there to like yell at the dogs, and then you're getting 2 attacks and 2 attacks, but you can only make 2 per action, it kind of nets out the same. Like I wouldn't have had him cost 5 points more to have the range.
Also, there's no way to spend 5 points in this warband.
For real?
Like there's nothing.
No, there's 175 for the. Yeah, there is. There's 175 on the.
Yeah. So there's one. I mean, there's no 5 point delta anywhere between two units that mean you're actually making a choice.
Yeah, I see
so I almost guarantee the box builds a warband that's either 995 or 1,000, depending on which boss you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So what are these guys called? The
Trailblazers. The 2 Trailblazers.
The Trailblazer.
Yeah,
right.
They're next in the row.
Yeah, looks like he is.
They're both 90, and there's a stabber and a shooter. It looks like.
Yeah, and it's the same model. So you're building one of these 2.
How many do you get in the warband on the card? You only get 1?
So there's one of each listed here. But
you'd
have to look at the box to see.
I will right now.
But I bet you get one of these guys.
I bet you only get 1.
I bet you only get one.
Let's find out.
The dual crossbow guy gets no melee attack.
None at all?
None at all.
So he's trapped in melee, basically.
Yeah, so he's disengaging, and then his crossbows are short range at 8. Otherwise,
you get 1. You can make either the saber or you can make the twin crossbows.
Yeah.
Choose which variant you want to build, it says. 1 times only.
I'm going with the saber build. I care more about 4 attacks at strength 3 with 2/4 damage, then 2 more ranged attacks.
And he's toughness 3. He's got a decent amount of wounds, 12 wounds. It's not 20 like the boss is. I will say their leader has a lot of wounds for a human. 20 wounds is a lot of wounds, but I think it incorporates the dog is the idea, right?
Yeah, it's gotta. Yeah, because 12. So it looks like you're looking at 12 on the mediums across the warband.
Yeah, the dogs are 6 and then 10 for the lights.
Is movement 4 slow for humans?
Yep, should be 5. Movement 4 is fairly slow.
At toughness 3.
Toughness 3, I think they should be moving 5.
Yeah,
because I think most of like I think even like the beasts, Untamed beasts were like movement 6.
Yeah,
but like the base guys, like the Mirror Fan Man, whatever his name is, I'm taking the Chaos Warbands, right?
Yeah,
they're all movement 5 at least.
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to be fast, but they're toughness 3, so that plays out. Right?
I guess it's classic Warhammer Fantasy human movement is movement 4.
Man,
right? Like Empire Soldiers would march 8. Like
yeah.
It feels slow from Age of Sigmar, I guess, points of view, but relatively slow in Warcry point of view, I guess.
It means you don't get hurt for picking up treasure, I guess.
True. Yep, doesn't slow you down.
Not wasting anything.
No, absolutely, it doesn't go away.
So yeah, and I think I'm taking the sword on that guy.
That's fair.
And then you got your 2 different leather hides, who are again 12 wounds, so probably on the 28 mil basis, if I was guessing.
Yeah.
And we are at...
That would be...
the spear?
These guys.
Yeah. So we got a spear, which has that lovely range 2, 3 attacks at strength 4, 2/4. That's probably the best melee attack you've got in this box.
That isn't the boss with 2 axes, because he's also 2/4 and can up it to 3/5, which is crazy.
Yeah, 3/5 is nice. The 2-inch range on this is nice too. Just
that's true.
Poke from, and that helps with
outside of engagement.
Yeah, and that helps with their quad too.
And they're all 100 points.
Yeah.
So they're both 100 points. No differential.
No differential there, and you got the standard crossbow and an axe attack on the other, so you get the range option. It's gonna be an interesting warband.
Yeah, I mean, they're fairly standard damage-wise. They don't have a standard hitting piece. But we do have to talk about the swivel gun. Because that is, I think, the standard like range hitting piece over here. And that is your damage dealer.
Yeah.
Because you can do it at a fairly significant range. Let's talk about him. He's 175 points. He's only got 12 wounds, toughness 3, and a 3-inch move because he's all loaded for bear.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a 20-inch range.
Sure does.
On his 2 attack, strength 4, 4/8 crossbow.
4/8 damage. There's your damage hitter right now.
That's your monster hunter. Yep. That's your.
I was surprised he doesn't have an ability.
Yeah,
he has no ability. There's no like special move he can do. He can't onslaught because it's a ranged attack, which means he can't get extra attacks. So he's just a 4/8 damage murder piece.
Yeah.
With no extra like fixins. He does have like a little stab though. He can do like a little 1/2 damage with 2 attacks, strength 3. And no extra rune marks. He just has a standard rune mark, which allows him to do the reactions and the standard moves. But 175 points for 4/8 damage. That hits like a ton of bricks potentially.
And you're using your hunting pack double to call in extra hits from this guy.
That's right.
So those 2 attacks are not 2 attacks over the course of a round.
No, none of it goes around because you're going to make free attacks with them with the hunting pack. Exactly.
That's great. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it has to shoot something that is not engaged. And there's a short range for hunting pack. I think it's only 3 inches, right?
Pick a visible friendly fighter with the Wildercor Hunter faction rune mark within 2 inches of this fighter.
Yeah, so you have to call it in basically, but it's what, a double?
It's on a double.
Yeah.
So you're hoping.
You're hoping you're spending your doubles to hunting pack this guy just to shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. So who'd you pair him up with? Because we do have our basic boys now here too, and one of them does have a gun. So you could stand him next to the swivel gun. They're both 75 points, 10 wounds, toughness 3, 4-inch move. But you got a 3 to 15-inch range on the one with crossbows.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, 2 attacks. So their profile is the same whether they're in melee or at range.
Yep.
Which is fun. And then you've got what's this guy? Oh, the other guy throws his axe.
He does. He's got a short range axe throw, but he also fights a little bit better. 1/3 damage. Yeah. Yeah, he's one 4 attacks, sorry. 1/3 damage on both of them, but 4 attacks with his melee attacks.
Yeah. I like that. I like the throwing hatchet guy. That's fun.
But either way,
yeah,
the shooting guy can stand next to the crossbow guy, spend a double, and hunting pack him to make an attack action.
Yeah. but you got to draw the enemy in still, because it's the target has to be within 2 inches of the model calling the action, and the person being attacked has to be within 2 inches of the model calling the action.
Oh, then they can't do it at all.
Yeah, so you have to draw somebody into some, like,
no, because you can't do it. The free action does it have to target the guy that you're calling the hunting back onto? Because then you can't use the crossbows, because they're 3 and 6 for minimum range. You'd never be able to get.
You'd have to space it out perfectly. Have the enemy come in and engage the person who's going to call the model. That model survives.
Yeah.
And then calls in the attack from the guy who's 2 inches behind him and not in engagement range of that enemy.
It wouldn't work because he's 6 inches minimum range. There's no way to make that trigonometry work.
Yeah. No, never mind.
They've 100% made it so you can't do that.
Well, then
if it was the 3-inch minimum range for the crossbows, you could do it, but the 6-inch minimum range on the big crossbow, now looking at that makes that completely unfeasible. You won't be able to do it.
Yeah. And now I'm looking and I'm wondering if I had the models available, if I'm taking this heavy arbalist instead of a one of the 100-point dudes with the spear, and also another guy with hatchets.
Yes, because what does that add up to?
Well, that's 175 for those 2 models, so it's a straight trade there.
So it's 11 Wildercor Hunters. You get a Warden, a Trailblazer. So let's say that's 2. It's 1 because you're gonna take the one that does the dog trick, I'd say. So you're looking at 205. You get 2 leather hides, who are 100 each.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 405. The Arbalister, so you're looking at 580. 4 dogs, which is 240. So 580, 780, 640, and then 2 crossbow guys is 150. So it's 850 or 840, which plus 150 is 990. So 990 overall. You do have the 5-point flexes to take the other wardens if you want, I guess.
Yeah, the other.
Which taking everybody out of this box because it's 990.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting warband. I honestly think they're going to be pretty finessey. I think that you need something to deal big damage at range, so you're going to have to take that crossbow. But you're right. He does all the work by himself. He does no way to upgrade him. He just sits there and plugs guys at range.
They're a little bit like the hunters, where you're just like, can I roll 6s? Because if I can roll 6s, this is gonna go great.
Or a hit and a 6 will kill almost anything in the game.
Yeah.
Right. Because what's the strength on it? 5.
That guy is
the crossbow. It's
strength 4. It's only 4.
It's only strength 4.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
4-8.
Yeah, but strength 4 means it's wounding most things on 5s that you actually want to kill.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you want to try and kill a Stormcast with that, strength 4 is not good enough. They're all toughness 5 or toughness 6.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you just if that's what you're looking at anyway, then just trying to roll 6s with a bunch of little crossbows.
Yeah, might not be worth it. Might not be worth it to take the big guy. Take the little guys instead.
Hard to know.
They're just humans.
It's such a cool model.
That's the thing. They're just humans.
Yeah.
They're not going to be powerhouses. You have to remember, they're just regular guys. They're the Imperial Guardsmen of this universe.
But you are flooding the board. You got your dogs for your speed bumps, and you got or to just block lanes. I think they're going to be a really interesting warband to play.
Definitely. But let's talk about the monsters that they now have to contend with, because that's the Gorger Mawpack. And these poor fools are having a bad time if they have to fight the big guys. So I'm going to give you the abilities thing first. So their reaction. Oh, and I think there is 5 of them in the box. Yep, there is 5. I was just counting backs, but maybe I didn't see one in there. They have a rending bite. So it's basically the Ogor Mawtribes bite. A fighter can make this reaction after they are targeted by a melee attack action. But before the hit rolls are made, if none of the hit rolls from the attack action cause a critical hit, put 6 damage points to the attacking fighter.
And kills the dog.
Yeah. So if nobody gets a crit on you, you do 6 damage.
Wow.
And your toughnesses are all very low. 3.
The Gorgers are 3?
They're toughness 3, but with 30 wounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So 30 to 35 wounds, all T3, all movement 5. So if nobody crits you, though, because you just roll hits and not roll 6s, you do 6 damage to somebody. That is a horrifying reaction.
That is.
They are damage sponges that are hoping you can't roll crits. So if you have bad dice, you react and just basically kill a little guy.
I like the interaction there, because this warband is, I hope I roll 6s in this one.
Well, so the way that Stormcast do riposte, right, where they hope they're high toughness,
yeah,
and you're rolling lots of dice on them, just makes you miss.
Yeah.
So you chip damage yourself to death. These guys are like, we're low toughness. We're going to take a bunch of damage. But if you can't roll a 6, if you have a low attack dice count, like if you have little big, like for instance, if you are the Ogre Blitzer guy from the Iron Golems.
Yeah.
Right? And your job is that you do 2 4 8 damage hits. But you don't get a crit on those 2 dice. You just take 6 damage.
Yeah.
That's a huge... You don't want to fight these guys with that guy.
Yeah. No, that's good. I like it.
Your double that anybody can do is Bounding Leaps. A fighter can only use this ability if there is a visible enemy fighter within 6. This fighter makes a bonus move action and must finish closer to the closest visible enemy fighter than they were at the start of the move action. So you jump towards them basically as a bonus move.
Sweet.
You don't gain Fly, though, which I would have expected you would gain Fly.
Yeah.
Then double Glimmer of Consciousness, because you're just crazy. The Beast rune mark guys can get this, and that's literally everybody that isn't the leader. The leader's the only one that doesn't have the Beast rune mark on this in this group.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, until the start of the next battle round, this fighter is not considered to have the Beast rune mark. If this fighter's carrying treasure at the start of the next battle round, it drops it. So you have to spend your doubles to do your mission actions if you're not the leader of this warband, because they're all berserkers.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's because they're going to hit like a ton of bricks.
That's going to be interesting.
So now next up is Unnatural Force. This is the one available to your leader. Until the end of the fighter's activation, add one of the damage points allocated to enemy fighters for each hit and critical hit made by your melee attacks. And for the record, you have 4 Strength 5 attacks with 3/6 damage. So you could have 4 Strength 5 attacks with 4/7 damage. You have the hand crossbow.
Oh.
For a double. And then triple Agonizing Roar. Roll a dice for each enemy fighter within 6 of this fighter. On a 4+ until the end of the battle round, they cannot make disengage actions. So just a triple. And the person that can do that is the one that's the Screamer Pillar. So it's the one that's not blind. He's the 221. He's like your medium dude. You're not base guy. And then Maddened Blows is your other triple. This is available to the dude with the 2-handed weapon. I don't know what his name is right now because the name's on these cards, and you got the book.
Gorger with Great Club.
Perfect. He's got until the end of this fighter's activation. Hit rolls for attack actions made score crits on 5+, and he is 4/8 damage. So 5+ crits with 2 attacks at strength 6, doing 8 damage. And then Quad Starving Rampage. Until the end of the battle round, this fighter is considered to have the Beast rune mark, so even your leader would gain it. And anyone can do it. If this fighter is carrying treasure, they drop the treasure. This fighter can make 1 bonus melee action for each visible enemy fighter within 1.
Oh.
So if you're outnumbered, you fight everybody. Each of these attack actions is to target a different enemy fighter. So don't multi-engage these guys, because if they have a quad, they're going to kill everyone.
Just everyone.
So you want to talk about an aggro warband. It's feeling like this might be the aggro warband.
Their damage is base 3 across the board.
Sure is. So your leader's 235, 35 wounds, toughness 3, 5-inch move. Not a beast, and he's got 4 strength 5, 3/6 damage attacks with 1-inch range. What's the Screamer guy's name?
The Cave Howler.
The Cave Howler. He's got 5 attacks at strength 4, 3/6 damage, and can do that Agonizing Roar. He's got 30 wounds. All the rest of them have 30 wounds, toughness 3. And then you've got Blind Guy, 180. What's his name?
That's just a Gorger.
Just a regular old Gorger. He's got 4 attacks, 4 strength, 3/5 damage. The Crouching one.
We've got Gorger with Club.
Strength 5, 3/6 damage. And 3 attacks. And then the one with the double-handed club is strength 6, 2 attacks, 4/8 damage. So basically it's what are they armed with? Yeah. You can probably build one of each out of this box, I'm assuming, looking at the instructions. And they add up to, I think, exactly what you want them to. So it's going to be 400, 635, plus, so 735, 810, 995, all 5. So you're building this warband basically as is, unless you're cutting up some Ogre Kingdom sprues to play with. And
gives you the option of dropping the club off of the one and just having 2 base Gorgers, because there's only a 5-point difference between the 2. Yeah. But that's,
kind of it. Yep. And they are, I mean, how aggro do you want to be? Because This is about as aggro a warband as I can think of.
Yeah. Move 5?
Yeah, move 5. Toughness 3. They're interesting because they invert toughness for their reaction.
Yeah.
So they're going to spend actions for that reaction if they start to get like dogpiled, and then you're going to send the rest of them into fight. 5 models and 1,000 points for this level of like wound count, though. Like you're looking at, 155 wounds.
Yeah.
Across 5 models.
They're going to be so scenario dependent because like everything about them is so aggro.
Yeah.
Right? They're double.
They're going to spend their doubles to be able to do anything that's not the leader.
It's basically the same as the orc double.
Yeah. It also means your hardest hitter is doing all of the mission actions or picking up all the treasure if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because can beasts contest objectives?
I'd have to double check.
I think they can. They count towards contesting, but they can't pick up treasure and they can't do any of the mission actions that are in the book.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're looking at having to like calm them down a little with your doubles.
Yeah.
So they're going to be very wild dice starved, and they're going to be needing to use your doubles to do stuff that needs to get done, like as far as like button pushing and carrying stuff. It's going to be interesting.
Okay, Glimmer of Consciousness is until the until the start of the next battle round. So
right.
They'll still be carrying the treasure at the end of the game. That's good.
Yeah. But then they immediately drop it. So that's why luckily it's not an action to pick up treasure in this game. You just move over it. Otherwise, you would be screwed action economy wise.
Yeah. That's
so 2 very different warbands. And they will paste these humans.
Oh,
like absolutely instantly paste the humans. They will kill a dog instantly.
Yeah. Even
just the basic Gorger, because all it has to do is hit twice with 4 attacks on 3s.
Yeah.
Right, because they're all at least strength 4, and that entire human warband strength 3 or toughness 3.
Yeah.
Actually, they're still. I think the toughness 3 on these guys though makes the human warband actually able to deal with them.
Well, that's the only thing, right? Because the crossbows are hitting on 4s.
And the big damage crossbows winning on 3s.
Yeah.
It's funny. These 2 warbands feel fairly balanced against each other, but maybe not against warbands outside this box.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
They'll have an interesting fight against other warbands.
There are some, like, the Jade Obelisk can chew, like, if you focused a little bit, you could chew through a Gorger with half your warband.
Yep,
pretty reliable. I mean, you saw what I did to the Chimera.
I saw what you did. I definitely saw what you did. You did terrible things.
Terrible things.
You ate a Chimera and then made it your pet.
Did I?
And then it ate my warband.
Did I tell you what happened to the next time I recruited a Chimera?
No.
I also got it killed in one game.
I don't want you to. I don't want to say that you're a bad person, but you're definitely a bad person. You shouldn't own pets. Is what I'm saying.
No. Obviously,
you should definitely not be owning pets.
It's instantly dead.
All right, so let's look at the just a quick overview of what the Path to Glory is in there. So why don't you give me that back, or you can look at it?
Yeah, I got it.
However you want to do it, and we'll look at the themes for that. The Maw Pit terrain rules. It is an obstacle. They are low terrain. The skulls in the maw are platforms. The maw itself is deadly, and the ribs are unscalable. It's killing ground. Fighters can use the Get in the Pit ability and the Desperate Gambit reaction. It is the worst way to go. At the end of an activation, if the center of a fighter's base is on the maw, they're dead. And then Unquestioned Champion. At the end of a campaign battle, if only one fighter is on the skull platform, add 1 to their renown rolls, and you get a glory. Because you're just standing over the maw pit being the champ. It's the champ spot. So while it's on the table, you can do a reaction, Desperate Gambit. A fighter can make this reaction after they are targeted by a melee attack action, but before the hit rolls are made. If they are on the skull platform or within 1 of the maw, if each hit roll from that attack action misses, the attacker is taken down. You shove them in the pit. So if they hit you not at all, you get shoved in the pit. That is a horrifying rule as a reaction. And then triple Get in the Pit. After the next melee attack action made by this fighter in this activation that targets a fighter with a lower wound characteristic that's on the skull platform or within 1 of the maw, roll a dice and add the strength characteristic of that attack action to the result. If it's an 8+, you're dead. You take the target down.
Okay.
So you can throw people into the mouth.
I like that thematically.
It is a horrifying terrain piece.
Feels rough.
I mean, in this case, it actually is worse for the Gorgers because they're like strength 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So, it can only do it to guys with lower wound characteristic. Actually, so only the Gorgers can do it.
Only the Gorgers can
Only the Gorgers can do it.
The humans can use the reaction to hope that the Gorgers miss.
That's right.
that guy with the great club is in trouble. He's only got the 2 attacks.
That's right. Yeah. So if you miss completely, if you roll 1 and a 2,
Yeah.
you just miss.
Out he goes.
And out you go. You get thrown in the pit. Desperate gambit. You like trip him. You like banana and tailpipe the guy into the maw pit.
I like it.
That's a very funny, thematic, incredibly not balanced rule. The Gorger Mawpack is trying to do the butcher's bidding and throw people into the pit. The idea is that you can then find a oozing midden, so a place where all the ogres have discarded their food because you're basically cast out of the tribe. If you find the oozing midden, you can set up your camp there, which I think is great. The Wildcors are hunting people and trying to survive because they're just regular humans. All of it is basically, all of the quests for these guys is the film Predator. You're in a terrible place. You shouldn't be there. But you're the best of what your race is capable of.
And there's 5 of them, by the way.
And there's not that many of you. There's 5 predators, and they're all insane. And then you can build a forward base inside the thing. You've got a Hunters and Hunted campaign tree where you're doing various. It's funny, we won't be able to play this until we get the terrain. Now, I looked at the terrain in here. There is one picture I can see of it. It looks like it's the ship. It looks like it's chunks of Talaxis. I don't recognize this terrain as something we've built already.
No.
Like, I don't recognize it from any of the boxes we built already.
Nope.
Because the last one we had that was themed to this was the World Engine. The ruined World Engine, basically. Which wasn't
a unique kit. That was just the...
No, it was a new kit. It was a new World Engine kit because it was a ruined World Engine.
I thought that was a 2-sided kit that built both of those. It was just a little there were the little
temple bit.
Regardless, that go on it,
regardless, it had the extra platforms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then this kit looks like it's something we haven't seen yet. Oh, someone can correct us maybe, and it is out there, and we just haven't noticed it. But you and I are pretty up on WARCRY, and I don't remember it from anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the box. So, what do you think?
I'm hyped. I like the warbands. I think they're really interesting and different. I just love the format of the box so much.
I feel like it's the less is more for me. Like we can consume this. This feels like a VHS tape to slide, or a game to slide into the console. If the 2-player starter set the console, this feels like the additional content I want. It's the level of DLC that I want. You just want the universal card?
I just want that, man. That's so good. It's so good. It'll save me.
I want them to print that card you gave me where you put the dice on it.
Yes.
I think they came in White Dwarf.
Yeah.
I want one of those. I want that thing. That thing's amazing.
Great. Yeah,
the one where it like holds your double triples and wild dice. Yeah. I want one of those, I think, for my thing.
That'd be great.
Do that in the next one, Games Workshop.
Yes.
So yeah, so far I think this is the best format change they've done in a while. It's smart. It fits what they're making right now. And the warbands are unique and different and cool. The models, of course, are fantastic. I'm excited to play this one with you, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Again, we don't know what the price point is on this. It could be priced the same as the boxes that came before it with less stuff. So I hope not, but we have no idea what it costs because we're just getting sent we don't see the MSRP on these things. They just send the box to review. So the value we're kind of judging it on based here is purely aesthetic and rules wise and like how the product's designed, not value for dollar. So just as like a caveat and a little I guess what's the word, proviso basically on what we're saying. But thanks for doing this with me, man. This is fun.
Yeah, this is good. I like this format.
I like this format too because I didn't just like sit and have to what's the word, extrovert like my thoughts on it. I had something to bounce this off of, and I think we got a better overall interpretation of what this stuff is because of it. So thanks you guys for watching. We'll see you for more GMG reviews. Thanks for Mike coming in and doing this with me. Thanks for Ash. Stop working.